one under his leadership, His Excellency Simon Ekpa. Anybody that is confusing anyone or telling you there is another, no, there is nothing. There's just one, recognized by His Excellency Simon Ekpa. And we can pray. Once he has that communication, Biafrans, we understand that Obato Obie does not take no crap from nobody. No matter who you are, you must respect that authority. That authority is the only thing that can protect all of us. But we thank God, somebody said this is a transition period. If these things does not happen, Biafrans will not know who is following our prime minister, who wants him to fail, who wants him to be out.
Welcome, fellow Biafrans, lovers of freedom across the world. I welcome you once again to this amazing platform where we disseminate information that has to do with the restoration of independent state of Biafra. I appreciate everyone that has connected to this platform. This is Biafra Exodus Hard Talk TV, a platform that stands for the United States of Biafra, under the command of our Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa, and on the supreme command of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and today, under the leadership of Dr. Ngozi Orabueze, the Deputy Prime Minister of the United States of Biafra, COS interim. I welcome all of you to this very platform. Happy New Year to everyone that is watching, wherever you are watching from. We are in a new year. And as we enter the new year, many people are asking questions and they say, what next? Where is the way to go? The way to go is simple. We are pursuing the recognition of the United States of Biafra and the restoration of Biafra fully on the ground. That is the phase where we are today. Every one of us must continue to give our contribution the best way we can. And remember, I urge you to like and share. Share to your neighbors, share to your family, share to everyone to key in and join us on this gospel. Do not be distracted. Regardless what you hear, regardless what you see, regardless the propaganda and blackmail that is flying from right, left, and center, do not get distracted. Be focused, because Biafra have been declared on the 29th of November 2024, and there is no going back. We are pursuing the recognition of Biafra.
All right. So with us in the studio is the presidential candidate of the AAC and a human rights activist, Mr. Omoyole Sowore. Good afternoon, sir. And thank you for joining us.
Having me. Happy New Year to you and your viewers. Thank you.
Thank you. So I saw a tweet that you just tweeted today, and you say, make I talk and pidgin English. Yes. Vex. You know, that's a bit switch. So you say the kind of hunger and pain where you see this administration, that is Tinubu's administration has inflicted on Nigerians. Say nobody don't inflict that kind of hunger and pain before. Why did you do that?
Not be here. You know, we have to keep telling people the truth. Say, this people we come tell us that they bring the new hope. Now hopelessness, now them bring. So, and before it is difficult to tell people how things bad rich. But this one, now your stomach will tell you, say, town hard. Okay,
but the president has often said, and his followers have often said, that the economy is rebounding. And you heard the APC spokesperson say that, Monka, that the economy is rebounding, and the president said that it's just a teething period, and necessary painful steps, because we're living fake life. Do you not think that we should cut the president a slack a little bit and just watch and see his policies thrive, and perhaps just give him the benefit of the doubt?
You know, I was calculating today that these guys have already spent 2 years almost in power.
Yes, almost.
Because by February of 2027, election is here. So we have about, almost 2 years to go.
In fact, from 2026, electioneering starts.
In fact, they have started. They've started electioneering already. But I think this time around, they want to deliver more hunger, more starvation, more poverty, so that people will come to beg for them to at least give small. And then they will now preserve everything towards the end and at their usual palliatives.
With all that the president is doing?
What has he done? Make you tell me now. Where is it that you have found the jobs that they promised they will create?
Okay.
Where have you found the roads that they said the money they will save from removal of fuel subsidy they will use to build it? Where have you found the hospital that they built?
Okay.
The only people who are doing well is the president and his people. He's the one who bought a new jet in the midst of this starvation and poverty. He's the one who bought a new Escalade. He's the one who has been traveling around the world, just enjoying himself every week. He's in one place. He's the one who's getting the best medical health insurance, which is based in France. Every other thing for Nigerians now, just sorrow, tears, and blood. Apology to Fela.
All right, I understand the direction you are going.
Yes.
You know, you are talking about things that here and now. But I wanted to look at the policy direction the president is traveling. If you look at quite a few things, you are a presidential candidate. Yes. I can't recall you talking much about removal of fuel subsidy. But
no, I was opposed to it.
Okay, you were opposed to it. Okay,
I was opposed to it.
But other people,
I knew that it would cause this problem that we have now.
Okay.
And I spoke extensively about it.
Okay, we'll come to that. But your co-contestants also said they were going to remove fuel subsidy.
Co-contestants are people who are in the same WhatsApp group. I was the only person who was not.
Okay. Now, remove the fuel subsidy. How about the local government autonomy, the way he's pushing it? How about the tax reform bills, the way he's pushing it? How about the state police, the way he's pushing it? How about the Regional Economic Development Commission, the way he's pushing it? Things might be hard now. Don't you think that he's traveling in a direction that
you don't solve problems of hunger and starvation by doubling bureaucracy. All these ones we have mentioned will lead to more government spendings that leads to nowhere. Providing jobs for their own boys. That's not the issue.
So you don't believe in the tax reform policy?
What is the tax reform going to do?
Redistribution of income and resources and all of that.
For the same people. I've already talked about tax before. That what you need is to increase, not taxes, but expand the tax base. And I know this because Nigeria has the lowest tax base in the West African region. We're about 7 to, and it's because the rich people are not paying taxes. But now you want to collect more from the poor, which was something exported from Lagos. They exported this whole tax collection thing from Lagos. You know where it's going to end? You're going to have private tax collectors introduced nationally.
Oh, whoa. Yes. So you think that the alpha beta thing may play out nationally?
That's where they're headed.
Why do you think so?
Because to collect such taxes that they have introduced, they will need to introduce all these amorphous tax collection agencies that are not in government to do that for them. And that's where they're headed, is to provide an opportunity.
But if it's to make room for more efficiency in tax collections or taxation, does it matter?
I'm pointing you to Lagos. More taxes collected in Lagos. Lagos is still one of the most challenging places to live in the world.
But they also say that the tax reform bills are poor. That is going to benefit the poor. More like
you don't need to be told that these people don't work for poor people. They work to create poor people. That's what the government has always been about.
So you sound like there is a deliberate impoverishment of the
Nigerian people. That is what, what did removal of fuel subsidy do to you?
Governors are getting more money.
Yes. Governors are not poor. They are these people who are already rich who are getting more money. Are you getting me? Yes.
Okay.
The rich is getting richer. The poor people are getting poorer.
So should we hold the president responsible for the fact that governors are getting more money yet that money doesn't trickle down? Those money don't trickle down to the poor people.
Do you know what has happened under the Tinubu regime?
Okay.
They have created a one-state system, one-party state. That's what I was trying to say. And that is that if Tinubu travels to Lagos today, all the governors will come and greet him. To show appreciation for one thing, that you mentioned, they're getting more money, they're delivering less services, they are creating more poor people. So they are grateful to the man who is giving them more money to buy houses abroad, live large, and ball,
All right, so let's get to the subsidy removal that you talked about, because it's clear that we get your take on it. in 2012, when Jonathan wanted to remove subsidy, a lot of people, clamped down on it and said that, first of all, it was fake, including people in this administration. However, a lot of people, including this administration now, think that it's a way forward because they claim that the subsidy only enriches a minute set of people. But how come it's become very difficult for us to specify those people that the subsidy enriches alone, considering that people have often said that the countries that wants us to that de-amplify the subsidy removal are, have one sort of subsidy or the other in their countries.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the IMFs and World Banks of those.
That's right.
So why do you think it's been very difficult for us to block those leakages and those loopholes in our subsidy system, and then to also call them out and thoroughly deal with those people who are gaining from the subsidy?
That's exactly why, when they are retelling these stories, we must keep telling it the appropriate way. People have said that in 2012, people fought against Jonathan's subsidy, and as a result, have no right to complain when Tinubu removed subsidy. That's not true. What we found out during Jonathan's time, after the Occupy Nigeria 2012 struggle, was that we actually found out that a lot of the people who were supplying fuel weren't supplying anything. Some of them, it was found out, were importing fuel to Nigeria with ships that capsized 20 years ago. You knew about it. Some were importing water and claiming. So the port became a place for racket. All of them were arrested, or some of them were arrested. They probably arrested the small boys. But go and ask today what happened to it. Was anybody jailed for? If anybody went to jail, the Court of Appeal was there to take them out. They are all back in business.
Why can they not be jailed today by this administration?
Because the people who are supposed to jail them are the ones who are the owners of the racket.
All right, so let's look at the end. Okay,
yes, I wanted to ask something. The inability of the previous government, Buhari, Jonathan, to remove fuel subsidy, and the ability of this current government, the president, to remove that subsidy, doesn't it show some kind of political will to do right?
It's not the political. It's not political will.
Where others fear to trade here.
No, it's not political will. See, why people like Tinubu are dangerous is that they have been in this game for a long time, and I say they are very dangerous people because they have been involved in everything. They were in the opposition. They have been in government before, so they understand the weakness of the Nigerian people. That was why the day he removed subsidy was when nobody was watching. The day everybody was watching but not paying attention, which was the day of his inauguration. And I won't be surprised that him falling on that day was programmed to distract attention. So they created content for people. Oh, Tinubu just fell, Yakata. But he did the worst thing that could happen to the economy of the people.
Was it only content? Because fuel immediately jumped from...
No, I'm not saying that. A lot of people paid more attention to the fact that he fell. That was what was trending. And
the impact of what he did.
The impact of what he did not catch up onto the public until a few days later they realized that, oh my God.
Okay, so you just sound like the president is somebody who already understands the character of Nigerians and he plays with the character. Is that what you're trying to say? That the president is deliberate with how he deals with Nigerians?
Most people don't know Tinubu as much as I know him. And it was because when we were doing pro-democracy, we knew them. We knew how they came to the pro-democracy movement and stylishly hijacked it with Nadeko and ran away from the country. Left those of us who really were doing the struggle to be endangered. Why they all disappeared?
Oh, you think that was deliberate?
It was.
So are you also of the school of thought that perhaps he was working with Abacha somehow? Because people are insinuating that there was a backyard movement, and that's why you have people like Baghdadi working in this administration.
They were close to all the politicians at that time, the SDP people. They were all close. Even Abiola.
So that means he was betrayed in Adeku at that time?
No, they were all part of it. Even Abiola's cabinet, it was the cabinet Abiola wanted to use that he gave to Abacha. Foolishly. I would say that any day. Thinking that Abacha will hand over power to him. But there's no way in the world that people get power and hand it over to anybody. Not even a father will hand over power to their child except they are dying and they have no reason to keep on to power. So it's the same thing with all of them. Do you know how you understand what the game they were playing? When the military took over, when Abacha died, all these politicians went to meet with Abubakar. They did not ask after Abiola. Yes. We were in Lagos waiting for Abiola to be released. We saw them meeting with Abubakar. And when Abubakar took over power and handed over power, they were his greatest friends. I remember we going to protest against Abubakar when they were giving him an award at the Chicago State University.
Oh, wow. Famous Chicago State University.
The infamous Chicago State University.
I would just like to maintain famous.
Yes. All of them followed him there.
Whoa.
Yes, they followed him there. We were there. We saw Chief Shegun Shoba. I was like, but you guys were fighting against the military. Why are you so close? You know that they maintain a bond.
But the presidents have stated it several times that one of the reasons why he would ensure he works for the generality of the good of the people, it's because he fought the military, he risked his life, and he fought for this democracy we're enjoying. So what is that?
You're saying that they didn't fight the military because they have the same characteristics. In fact, what they are doing now is worse than what the military was doing.
What are those things?
Yes. This idea of jailing children after protests, jailing people for speaking against government officials. This is what the Decree 2 and Decree 4 people were doing.
So are you saying that the president administration is worse than the military?
It is worse than the military. The military did not even jail children during their own time.
Oh, wow.
Okay,
they didn't charge children for treason.
Okay, before we travel far from the failed subsidy something, one last question. I want us to play some kind of role reversal. If you were the president, assuming you won the election, what would you have done differently regarding the failed subsidy issue?
So, what I would have done differently is, first, I am aware of the people who are stealing fuel subsidy money. I know them. I know everybody that is involved. And do you know how I know? I covered fuel subsidy, fuel matters like nobody else under Sahara Reporters. I've seen all of them till today. So I would have clamped down on them immediately. And secondly, I would have fixed the refineries and created newer, smaller refineries. Because refineries are very easy to put together.
Like modular refineries?
Yes, even the ones, you can build a refinery within a year, they'll bring the parts, put it together. Okay. And the reason is simple. Even as Nigeria is unable to fix its own refineries, and they're lying about fixing the ones they fix.
I was coming to that.